mic an amp with that guitar too? He doesn't. Everyone we know. Would you like to mic an amp?
I'm Carsie Blanton, and this is my song, Be Good. Jesus Christ was a handsome man. He had nothing to hide. He said, give bread to the hungry, bring the homeless inside. Jesus Christ was a dangerous man. That's the way that he died, saying, be good to the people you love, and love everybody alive. Be good to the people. Be good to the people. Be good to the people you love, and love everybody alive. Dr. King was a preacher. He had God on his side. He said, all God's children are brothers. Don't cast your brother aside. Dr. King was a dangerous man. That's the way that he died, saying, be good to the people you love, and love everybody alive. Be good to the people. Be good to the people. Be good to the people you love, and love everybody alive. Well, there ain't nothing more criminal than kindness, and there ain't nothing more valuable than blindness. So they'll make anyone a martyr who remind us everybody got a right to be free. Be good to the people. Be good to the people now. Be good to the people you love, and love everybody alive. Be good to the people. Be good to the people. Be good to the people you love, and love everybody alive. Love everybody alive. Love everybody alive. Hey, this is Carsie Blanton, and you're watching eTown Solar Sessions.
Carsie Blanton, welcome to eTown.
Thank you.
So glad you're here.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You are exactly the kind of musician, singer-songwriter we like to have around here.
Shucks.
No, I mean it. I think the thing that is that magical combination of, you know, being aware of what's going on in the world, wanting to make things better, wanting to point out injustice, point out inequity, point out things that could be more fair, and do it in an artful way, and doing it in an inviting way. Mm-hmm. That's what's really cool. Your new record, Love and Rage, covers kind of the basic ground right there. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Love and Rage, I always joke those are the two kinds of songs that I know how to write.
Yeah.
And that's fairly true, but also I think the last couple of years especially, but really for me it's been like since the Obama years, I think I've been going through this like painful process of disillusionment, but also hope, and sort of this mixture of different things, like a kind of political paradigm shift.
Yeah.
And I feel like Love and Rage sums up what that has felt like for me. And I think the pandemic feels that way also
Just
for a
gonna
lot of
say.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, COVID kind of amplifies that. And, here we are thinking about just in the last, recent history, to think about, well, let's see, for the first time we had a president who didn't accept the results of an election, and we had a violent attack on our democracy in the United States Capitol, and then everything's been disrupted. Certainly for musicians and touring people, life has not been the same the last couple of years.
Really for anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you got to keep your job or whatever, it's like, I think everything's different. And I think in a lot of ways it probably is going to stay different.
So I think of those things, as traumatic and difficult as they are, as being positives in a lot of ways. In that, one, nobody's really asleep right now. Nobody is just like cruise control. I'm just doing my thing, punching my time clock, and moving forward.
Yeah.
Everybody's feeling a little bit of this anxiety of what's going on, and whether it's climate change or COVID or crazy politics or whatever.
Or the economy or the various effects of all those things on people and populations of people.
Yeah.
The rise of fascism all over the world. It's like we're in a very unstable time, and I think wherever you are on the political spectrum or whatever age you are or culture in, I think everybody feels it the same.
There's another positive that I was imagining, and I don't know if it's true, but I think that because people are unsettled, they are also recalibrating and reprioritizing and deciding what's really important and what's okay and what part of the status quo is okay and what do I need to change and shake up. And so your songs are invitations to become engaged, to pay attention. And I think you're acknowledging with songs like Be Good, it's so sweet and so true and such a beautiful rhyme scheme and such lovely storytelling.
Thank you.
And then Party at the End of the World is sort of like, hey, we're screwed. We might as well have some fun because things aren't going well.
Yeah, those are kind of the yin and yang of the album to me. And I try to I tend to write with humor and like with hope and positivity, but I also feel like it doesn't really land if I don't also write songs like Party at the End of the World, where it's sort of like, hey, like we're screwed, it's over for us. And I feel like to me it's like it's dishonest not to acknowledge that that's also part of what we're feeling right now, is that maybe there isn't hope. So I try to represent both sides of my own experience of the world right now, which is like, some of the time I really do feel hopeful and excited for the future, and some of the time it feels really dark. And I think to me, part of the job of a songwriter is just to like authentically express what we're going through as humans. And so I wish it could all be good to the people, but it's also, some of the time it's also Party at the End of the World.
Hey, and also art and the muse and those things come when they come, and they're honest when they show up.
This one's called Down in the Streets. Mama, it's a disaster, going faster and faster, and all of my heroes turning out to be bastards. Ain't no peace to be found in this company town, 'cause the house will keep winning till we burn the house down. So all my friends in the streets tonight, we go singing. All my friends who are down and out, we're gonna fight. Where they call it a riot, 'cause we ain't keeping quiet. But if you've been listening, we know you don't buy it. And they say we've been stealing, but who's the real villain when we can't even make a living and they're out there making a killing? So all my friends in the streets tonight, we go singing. All my friends who are down and out, we gonna fight. All our friends in the up above, with all our rage and all our love, adding fuel to the fire down in the streets tonight. Well, they can lock us up and they can knock us down. We're the ones who run this town. We're gonna shout it out till we make them face. We're the ones who own this place. They could lock us up and they could knock us down. We're the ones who run this town. We're gonna shout it out till we make them face. We're the ones who own this place. So all my friends in the streets tonight, we go singing. All my friends who are down and out, we're gonna fight. For all our friends in the up above, with all our rage and all our love, adding fuel to the fire down in the streets tonight. Down in the streets tonight. Down in the streets tonight.
If I, for some reason, had magical powers, and I gave them to you, and I said, Carsie, here's the deal. There are tons of ways that the world is screwed up. Climate change, rise of fascism around the world, income inequality, racial injustice, sexual, abuse in every front, and so on. So many things. And I gave you some magical powers, and you said, okay, look, I'm going to change one thing. I'm going to start with just changing this one thing. What do you think it would be? I have a suspicion.
It's a really big thing, but it is only one thing.
Yeah.
I would end capitalism as a economic system. I think it was in many ways useful for a long time, but I feel that we've, as a population and as a planet, we've reached the limits of that method of doing things, mostly because it's inherently extractive. So in order to run a capitalist economy, you have to keep getting more resources out, which either means you open more mines and take more petroleum out of the earth, or you find a big population of cheaper labor and you make them work for cheaper, and then you get higher profit. So having our whole society run on the idea that we need more profit all the time, ultimately you can't do that forever. And I think one of the reasons we have all these different kinds of instability all around the world at the same time is because we're running this system that is running out of juice, basically. Yeah. So to me, it's like I would love to be able to wave a magic wand and just have all of our different societies transition to something more egalitarian, like some form of socialism.
Is there a hybrid? For example, some people talk about factoring in all the sort of inherent costs associated with this extractive industries of any kind.
Yeah.
So in that model, a gallon of gas would be $10 instead of $3.50 or whatever.
Yeah.
Is there a way to have capitalism change its rules so that there are built-in costs associated with the damage that it does?
Well, here's how I think of it. I think of capitalism like sort of an organism, like it's its own being in a way. It's a very complex system, and it's all over the world at the same time, and it kind of runs itself. And so as an organism, it has metabolism and like an immune system. So basically everything you throw at capitalism, it finds a way to metabolize it. So there's been lots of times in history where we've put harsher rules on it. So like, we had an 80% corporate tax rate when I was born. And now it's like 20% or whatever it is. And that's because the system itself, because it needs to find a way to get more profit all the time, it's just going to find a loophole.
Right.
So I'm less interested in like specific regulations and specific policies than I am in
systemic change.
Yeah, systemic change. Like I think we're running a system that's inherently exploitative, and instead we could just not do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And especially this hasn't always been true. Like I think like one of the reasons the Soviet Union collapsed is because they tried to stop doing capitalism, but they just didn't have enough stuff yet. Like they didn't have infrastructure, they didn't have lots and lots of things. Whereas the world we're in now, like we have such a huge surplus of resources and such amazing technologies, and we're so efficient as workers. Like we create way more stuff than we need every day. All we have to start doing is distributing it equally instead of saying like Jeff Bezos gets to decide everything in America now.
Right.
So basically it's the idea that we have that capitalism is efficient. That's an outdated idea. It's really not the most efficient thing to do anymore.
Let's talk about another one of your songs, Fishing with You. So an ode to John Prine, who, as you were describing the way you like to write songs and how you like to create the humor that leavens the seriousness, but it's still there.
Yeah.
Nobody did it better than John Prine.
He's the main one.
He's the master. And he had the Vietnam War to sort of hone his craft and develop those skills and create these nice sounding songs that until you really dove in, you didn't know that this was really what that was about.
Yeah, and he had such a beautiful, like, in a way he transcended politics. Like he wrote about Vietnam and he wrote about veterans coming home and he wrote about a lot of just working class life.
Environment.
Yeah, and the environment, right. But I feel like he did it in a way where you almost couldn't be mad about it.
Right.
Because it's this sort of like he's just talking about the human experience. And I think whenever we do that as writers, then we sort of are able to let everybody in wherever they are politically or in their
It's harder
class.
to do these days.
Yeah.
Because people are ready for that kind of dog whistle, whatever it is, that's going to let them know which side of this particular song they're going to be on.
Yeah.
They're waiting.
And it's also harder because we're so, like, being a musician is such a public thing and we're on all the social media. So, like, my politics are just absolutely 100% public. And and so I think everybody knows when they come to a show that if they bring their like Trumpy uncle or whatever, he's gonna get pissed off. But to me, it's like that's fine. He can still come.
Sure. Steve Earle built a career in a similar way. The thing about John Prine, though, that I think is so great in that you've embraced it in such a personal way, is that it was really welcoming, as you say, but it was also really personal.
Yeah.
It was like not, hey, everybody, let me tell you something. It's, hey, Carsie, let me tell you something.
I've noticed, so it's been an interesting couple of years in so many ways, of course, but one thing that happened in my own sort of life and music life is that, so John Prine passed away very early in the pandemic, and I had this just very visceral reaction, as I think a lot of us did. It felt to me like, I always felt like I knew him, but I actually never did. I never met him. But my parents played his songs around the house, and it was like he felt like my like great like funny uncle or whatever.
Your dad sang his songs,
my
right?
dad
Played
sang
guitar
his songs.
and sang
My
his
mom
songs.
too. Yeah, they both play and sing, and I think I knew most of John Prine's songs.
So he's just, in a way,
when I was a kid.
your third parent in a way.
Very much. Yeah. And so when he died, like I had this really visceral, grief reaction, and I called both my parents. We all cried on the phone to each other, and again, like we never met him. We just felt really connected to him personally.
So sweet.
But then an interesting thing, like result of that, was just that I wrote that song very quickly, and I posted it on the internet the next day because that's what we do now. And that video kind of took off, and so now that we're playing shows again, I'm meeting a ton of John Prine fans. And so it's like this kind of beautiful, but also just so bizarre. Like it's such a bizarro post-pandemic world in so many ways.
You would have been buddies.
Well, thank you.
You and John would have been buddies.
This is a song called Fishing With You, and I wrote it for the late, great John Prine. Hey, John Prine, thanks for the tunes. They were sweet as peaches, crazy as loons. You were telling us how to be good to each other. A smart-ass, smiling, aimless lover. But it's rough down here since we got the news. Might take a miracle to cure these blues. Everybody been crying like a little girl in the whole wide, big old goofy world. But tonight, heaven is a happier place. They were all sick of singing Amazing Grace. Now it's fish and whistle, lean on me. Everybody singing in harmony.
Tonight in heaven it must be nice. They're all eating peaches in paradise. All of them angels lined up in a queue just to go fishing with you. Just to go fishing with you. Hey John Prime, one more thing. You're the one who made us all wanna sing. You made it look so easy and sound so fun. We'll sing a little sweeter now that you're all done. And please tell Petty we've been breaking down since Merlin, Bowie, and Leonard and Prince. You got a pretty good band up there, I guess, and we all wish you all the best. But tonight heaven is a happier place. They were all sick of singing Amazing Grace. Now it's fish and whistle, lean on me. Everybody singing in harmony. Tonight in heaven it must be nice. They're all eating peaches in paradise. All of them angels line up in a queue just to go fishing with you. Just to go fishing with you. Just to go fishing with Jesus and Patty and you.
Hi, I'm Carsie Blanton, and that's Joe Plowman. We're coming at you from some kind of cave inside of a solar-powered matcha tea hippie Colorado situation where everybody wears fleece.
It's alpaca.
Climate change has obviously been an important thing for us. We're in a solar-powered building. We're trying our best. You know, we still believe that there are a lot of people who don't have the information they need to make conscious decisions.
Yeah.
So our goal
Especially
is
like Jeff Bezos, man. Somebody's got to get him to read a book or something.
Yeah, read a book or check his carbon footprint.
Yeah. Call up Elon Musk.
Yeah,
Man.
the two of them. That's a third of our carbon output annually. Anyway, I think that it's good to be thinking about all this stuff and sharing this stuff with your fans. I mentioned briefly that we've been doing this thing called Hippie Bluegrass Church here at eTown. And what's really interesting is that our janitor here in the building at eTown Hall gave us our values, which is the tenets of our church, by stopping me in the stairwell one day and telling me what the secret of life is.
Oh, cool.
And
Finally.
I was sort of like, wow, okay, sure, I'd like to know what the secret of life is. And it's these four things.
Okay.
Forgiveness, highest form of love. Compassion, need to cultivate the ability to imagine living in someone else's shoes. Integrity, the only thing we can really control. And humor.
Yay.
And that's his prescription.
Solid guy.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
So we're starting there and building and keeping it going and infusing those values into the stuff we make here at eTown Hall.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's so easy when it's guests like you who stop by.
Thank you. Do you want to hear the 4 tenets of great songwriting according to me?
Yeah.
Because I also have 4.
Excellent.
Hooks, humor, sex, and soul.
Wow.
You can use that in your church too.
Okay, cool. That could be there's the morning service and
Yes,
then there's
the evening service.
evening service.
Yeah.
All right, Carsie
All right.
Blanton. Really nice hanging out with you. Thanks for stopping by eTown.
Thank you.
We're going to shake hands. We're going to shake
Are we
hands.
allowed? Oh,
Sure, shake hands.
is that bad COVID protocol?
How about this?
There you go. Awesome.